inkproducts.com has now released its newest Black Tower refill ink system. Tower has a lot of nice features. Right up front is where you can visually see your ink levels. It also protects the ink from dust and light. It's got a lot of features built into it. Isobaric chamber. These are the new ink system cartridges. The system will come with 100 milliliters of Ultra Pro pigmented ink. That's 100 milliliters per color. In the video, I'm going to show how simple it is to put in. You're not going to have to cut anything. You're not going to have to do anything. The COC Smart Chips will automatically reset the ink levels back, or you can just ignore it and keep printing. Doesn't matter, because the printer doesn't know you have a bottle of ink on the outside. Okay, first thing we want to do is go over to Setup, Maintenance, Print Nozzle Check. Now I'm going to unplug it, because we got to unplug it, not turn it off. I'm going to say yes. And when I hear it start to print out, I'm going to reach behind it and then unplug it. I got to take out the Canon cartridges. Now these are the starter cartridges. You must put them in the printer. Do not put the system in. Put the Canon cartridges in, the starter cartridges that came with it. It's very important. Now you can run 10, 12 sheets, make sure everything is working, and then you could put the ink tower in. Take a second for it to prime itself up when you first turn it on. It's a brand new printer out of the box. I've just run a few sheets. It's starting to come out. I reached around and I unplugged it. The reason why I do that is I want the cartridges so I can move them back and forth. If they're all the way to the right and you turn it off, you won't be able to take them out. So now I get them over. Now, I bring it over here just so you can see them. Now normally you would have to go in there and turn a gear and do that each time and then press the blue button. You don't have to do that. I'm going to show you a very simple way, and it's awesome. That's what I like about these printers. You're going to need a small blade screwdriver right here. You can feel it's right here. That's going to come out. There's a little cutout up in here, right on this side here, and one up here. And you're going to use the small blade screwdriver. You're going to go in it. It's going to release the two latches, and that piece is going to slide off. And you can leave it off. That'll expose how you can pop the cartridges out. But you're going to go in on the side. You'll find it, like right there. See if I can get a light on it. I'm there. See it move out? I already started. I go over to the other side. I find it. There it goes. I just did it. Hope you saw that on the camera. And then this way you can go in there and slide it out. There it is. Took that piece off. I save it. I don't put it back on. I like it off because if I ever want to take the cartridge out, it's a lot easier. Now, right above here where my index finger is, if I push down, there's a little lever. Pops out. This way you don't have to turn the gear. Now when you're taking the Canon cartridges out, hold them straight up like this because they don't have a poppet valve, so they can leak. Now I save them. I use them so if I ever need to do troubleshooting, I have a good set of Canon cartridges to do that with. And I don't have to go out and buy a $100 set of cartridges to troubleshoot. Okay. Oops, it came out real quick. That's it. Just take that little piece off. And get it around here. See the little cutout? There's one right here. So I'm trying to get a camera shot there. One right there and one at the other end. And that's where you stick the screwdriver up. Okay, now you're going to get a T-bracket, can be any color, and a hose clip for the outside. Take it out of the package, take the rubber band off, and you're going to be putting it right in like that. Now, they're all the same size on the ink cartridges. So 2 will go to this side and 2 will go to that side, which are the yellow and black and the cyan magenta. Will go in just like that. Take your time. If you have to, you can take this little clip off, but don't lose it, because that holds that hose. Now there's the printhead. I get emails and calls all the time. Can I take the printhead out? Yes, you can. I have a video for that. Although in over 60,000 prints on one of these test printers, I've never had to do that. I just want to point this out. I did that nozzle check. Tells you how many copies. 1 to 50 pages. That tells you how many. Every batch of 50, it counts them. So then the next would be a little bit more than that, and a little bit more. I'll get a sheet and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, now this is off of a different printer. You can see the difference. 1101 to 1150. So it's counting how many sheets you do. And then the printhead, there's a lever right here on the side. Right here. If I lift up on that lever, I can take that whole printhead out. But remember, I had to take that little piece that Canon put in there. I had to take that out. Don't take the printhead out. Don't use any chemicals to clean it. I don't believe you need to. This uses a Ultra Pro pigment ink, American made. Don't use dye base in this printer. Otherwise, you'll just damage that printhead. The ink that Canon is using is very specific, and I mean very specific. It's expensive ink to make, but it's the best pigment ink I've seen in a very long time. And it does photographs just perfect. Now, when you first get the system, before you put it in, you make sure all the plugs are in, both sides. Okay? And then what I want you to do is set it down like this, face down. What I'm doing is I'm rocking a little bit. I'm getting all the ink that got into the isobaric chamber during shipping. You only have to do this once. Stand it up. Now after I get it in, I'm going to open up small little vent plugs in the back. The vent plugs have to be in, and the big plugs open when you have to fill it, when you have to fill a bottle. You fill it up and you stop. This is your little windows. There's a little mark down the bottom here that tells you that's the lowest you should get, and then you have to refill. It's an awesome ink tank. The best I've seen. Syringes with long tips, blunt tips. They're 3 inches long. That's how I fill the bottles up. I like to do it that way. I think it's better. You don't have to wash them out. And it says discard after use. Ignore that. Do not wash them out and do not discard them. We also, as an option, have the little pour tops. Some people think they like them and that's what they want to use. You can get them from our website. I personally do not like them, but that's my personal opinion. I like the syringe because I can go in to the bottom. I can draw up exactly what I need. But you're going to get that with the kit. You'll get everything that's necessary to put it in. Put a little light here so to see. See, I didn't even have to take it off the clip. I got them both in there. And then you just push them in and lock them in. Hear that click? You want to hear that click. And then what you want to do on the black, you got to get it to line up just right. And then you'll be able to click that one in. There. Now I'll be peeling and sticking the ink bracket, the hose bracket right here. That's where I'm going to do it, right like that. Basically in the center of that area right here that we took off. There's some flat spots right here. It's a good place to peel and stick it, just like that. Peeled it, stuck it right there. I'm going to get a better shot now. I turn that light off. Now I'm going to push it all the way over to the right. Okay, I'm going to feed the hose off and right on around and put it into the clip like that. Okay, that's how you're going to do it. And you want to pull it up not too snug, but just to take all the slack out. And you're just going to be able to shut the door, and I'll show you that in a minute. Okay, now you want to make sure the hose doesn't have any, it's not twisted or anything. Then you're going to see on the cover a little notch, and that's actually where the hose is going to come out, just like that. And then you're going to bring it around to the side and put the other hose clip on. Clip on, comes right straight down. Okay, now I'm going to open up those little vent plugs. Remember, that's critical. If you don't open them up, you'll starve that printhead. There you go. That's all I have to do. Simple and easy. Now I just wanted to point this out. I did take the printhead out of another printer. I have a video shows you. It's the best printhead I've seen in 20 years. It's very strong. You don't get a lot of error codes, and it's really a good printer. The Maxify to me is a 5-star printer. Okay, now we can plug it in and turn it on. And you can save your Canon cartridges. Now everybody asks how you save them. Okay, put them in a plastic bag, but store them and put a rubber band around them. Store them straight up like this, because this exit area can leak. Because we also sell the refillables. See, and the refillables have a poppet valve up front, so it can't leak when it comes out. Canon didn't do that because they made their cartridges like a one-time use. Now our refillables, if somebody doesn't want to do this, they can get our refillables, take out the plug, fill them up, put the plug in, you're done. You got the COC Smart chips, resets ink levels. It's just a lot simpler. Now there's two kinds of Maxify. One that takes the 2200 cartridges, and one take the 1200. Now I happen to like the MB2720, or the older model was a MB2320. I just like those printers. I have the bigger ones, you know, the 5020s and that. They're good printers, but you got to find out which one serves your need, because some of them have different features. I like this. It has double tray. It's got all the features. Nice large LED screen. It does all this. I mean, this printer does it all. And if you notice something, it's got a duty cycle of 15,000 copies per month. Now I say 7 because I think they just, I don't know. It's like gas mileage. I think you'll come to find out how many you can run. Now you can't set the printer on 200 copies and run them off. It's not a printing press. So if you had a Canon cartridge in there, what I do is I set it for 50 copies, let it, stop, it'll recycle, clean its little printhead, and go continue. But if you sit there and run one right after another and never run these printers on draft, you're just going to burn the printhead up, because there's not enough ink going to the printhead. Printhead is a thermal printhead. It heats up, boils ink, and fires it. So the more ink you put into it, actually, the longer the printhead runs. In our test lab, I've seen that time and time again. The more ink, if we run it in best mode or even high quality, normal, it works the best. You run it in draft, you'll be buying another printhead. Okay, now I'm going to go plug it in, turn it on, and we'll do some test sheets. These are just the best printers. Turned off, so there it is, right back. Let's take a look at our ink levels. I did have the system in, but I still show full levels. It's going to go down, down, down. You'll get a question mark. At that time there, you can do two things. Continue to print, no problem. Doesn't know that you have a bottle of ink on the side. Or if you want, you can pop the cartridge out, put it back in, it'll reset the ink levels. I really don't care about ink levels. I worry about, can I print? That's more important. So then, we'll get out of this, we'll go back over to setup. Now normally I tell people to run a cleaning, just one or two deep cleanings, but because I've already had this in, I've already tested everything, I'm just going to go for a nozzle check. Okay, yes. Now you should read the instruction booklet. This printer has a lot of features, like the dock feeder, where you can load your originals in. Now the other models, some other models, they'll automatically flip the original. Now this one won't do it, but it does two-sided printing automatically. But if you have a lot of that, then you want to look at the other models. I don't do it, a lot of that, so it works fine for me just the way it is. Ink products, you can buy the refillables, or you buy the black ink tower. This is awesome. Simple to do. The hose does come out the side, so what? The money you'll save is astronomical. You got double trays. It's going through its setup now to do the nozzle check, and then I'll print out some color test bars. Pattern out. Fairly fast. Excellent black. Colors are awesome. Nice bright yellow. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to print a photograph out. Now, because we're using pigment ink, you have to use a different type of glossy photo paper, because the dye-based inks use something, some paper like that were resin coated. The newer ones, they use a paper that you could say like cast coated, just a little different coating. So you can still do glossy, but you just got to change your paper. Now on plain paper, it's awesome. Like if you're doing brochures, and, you know, whatever, you know, it's just awesome because the plain paper just likes, and it's archival. That ink can last over 100 years. You can make a sign, hang it outside. 2 weeks, it'll still be the same color. Far more superior than dye-based ink. Far more superior. Perfect. That was pretty quick. See, the advantage to pigment ink, it's archival. Not only that, it loves plain paper. That's the best thing to print when you're printing. Now this is a high resolution matte. You can just look at the details. I'll get close. It's awesome. Now you put that in a frame. Doesn't matter whether it's glossy or matte, because once you put it in a frame, that protects it. And a photo like this can last 100 years or more, as long as it's in a frame. Look at that chrome. Look at that chrome. Look at that ink. Brilliant. The blacks, the chrome. That's why I said it's a lot has to do with the paper you use, and of course the ink. Now I'll do one more, show you with a little bit more different colors in it. Now this is the back side of that high resolution matte that I'm printing on. I'm printing a solid black. So you can print on both sides of this paper if you had a requirement that you had to do that. Again, the chrome comes out awesome, but that solid black.